Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to keep you long, but first and foremost, it looks like springtime, also known as the actual New Year, is upon us. So, let's have an opportunity to be thankful for that first and foremost, and be grateful for the Most High that we're able to see this coming upon us one more time. I just wanted to address a few subjects with you that I had seen kind of rumored around the internet, and what I've seen live via social media and as well as live television. So I just wanted to talk to you about a few things. One of those subjects I wanted to address with you is last night's Presidential Joint Congress Democratic Party behavior. So I wasn't too pleased. I get it. Again, I'll try to keep this as short as possible, but I understand that there is much criticism and lack of confidence in our current president and administration. You're making it pretty obvious. But at what point does our civil decency and candor come into play, and the urge and opportunity to be the bigger person, arise? I didn't see that last night from the Democratic Party and some of those members, or a great majority of the members. And one of the things that really, really triggered me a little bit was the fact that there was a young child who's a cancer survivor, and being given the opportunity by the president to be made an honorary Secret Service agent. Now, I don't know if you've ever worked in or near or adjacent to a children's hospital or a cancer research center. But when you see these children, they have a forever special place in your heart. So for me to see a party of so-called grown-ups, have a snivel and several, really, really bad remarks, in regards to this young child, more especially a child that looks like you and I, who doesn't get this opportunity, who really doesn't make that opportunity. And as much as Democrats were saying that, there wasn't really much of a place for black people, and, here it is, yes, despite, what you may hear in legislature or what he may be saying or what you may be thinking, but at this particular moment, there is an opportunity given to a child that most children never get the opportunity to have. So for me to see grown-ups, acting the way that they did, more especially on behalf of the Democratic Party, with walking out and, not clapping, especially when it comes to this child moment, and looking at the fact that even if you want to look at it racially, and this white man hugging this young black child, that might have been the first time, we don't know, that he's ever hugged a black child, but he'll grow an old man and remember that beautiful day the rest of his life, God willing. So I just need for y'all to understand that when your hatred for one man comes so badly and so convictingly that you miss the opportunity to see and be a blessing to someone else. I just wanted to point that one out to you. So yeah, your behavior is a little off. One of the other options, speaking of behaviors being a little off, I wanted to address also within the inner city, the skateland incident at the skating rink. Now, people like myself, I'm a West Sider, but this is a East Side skating rink, so it's on the other side of town. But we still grew up going there, and so we kind of know exactly where this place is, and what the neighborhood's like. But also at the same time, so looking at generations passing, and you look at this little girl getting into this incident with this grown man. Now, I didn't like either side of this story, but what I will say is you can definitely tell that there are no longer, strong feminine guidance around for this incident to have happened and began the way that it did. Now, from me working security and also being a male and a father figure, not only a father figure, but a father, I've had this conversation with my daughter. You have no business being in a grown man's face. I'm the only grown man's face that you need to be in. You have a problem with a grown man, you come talk to me about it, me and that grown man to settle it. What happened, really, again, I really don't condone any type of violence, but we really need to get back into understanding why a good family balance is necessary in the household, and why it is important to teach your daughters, the importance of femininity and restraint. And if you see a grown man that might be prone to violence, it's your time to exit the room. It's not your time to challenge the situation and see what's actually going to happen and being confrontational. So again, I don't condone any grown man for real putting his hands on a woman. I mean, self-defense is what it is, but at the same time, we need to understand that if there's a low-level confrontation amongst men, and we know what it can take for anything to start the war, it's also time that we need to educate some of our younger women when it comes to matters pertaining to escalation of force and what they're upset about. So keeping your hands to yourself is a equal opportunity thing. You can show restraint if you're upset, but it doesn't give you an opportunity to put your hands on someone because you're upset. And that brings me to my last conversation piece, which is this D9 hazing unfortunate situation where we're losing a younger brother. Now, I'm not a member of a D9 organization. However, these are some of my educated peers, so I can speak on this a little bit. So back in 2004, went to a historically black college, and I got the opportunity to see Ricky Smiley while I was there, and he really made a very, very important statement. I don't remember it verbatim, but I can summarize it well enough to where, being close enough to the stage and looking at this man with a microphone and representing his organization in the Divine Nine, or D9 if we will. One of the things he said is when it comes to these hazing situations and hands being put on, or the gruesome things that happen during these processes, you got to understand that before that person came to college, they might have dealt with this their whole life. Again, this isn't what I perceive, but this is something that listening to at the time when I had a lot more confidence in Ricky Smiley and listening to him and believing him, he actually told the truth on them. Some of these people come from being disrespected and beaten down and downtrodden for their opportunity to shine or be recognized their entire lives, and they step on this college campus and they're willing to do anything for this acceptance of some type of family bond, and they're terminally ill because of it, and or they lose their life. And so for a lot of these organizations to say non-hazing, well, first of all, and another thing too, for a lot of them to say, well, if you're not Divine Nine, don't speak on it, then guess what? You sound a whole lot more like the street gangs of the late 80s and early 90s and doing some of the same things. You're getting young members into your organizations that are convinced that if they're a member, that they can do something better for themselves and they can be part of something bigger than themselves to do something for their community, and in return they sacrifice something bigger than what they were willing to give, which is their life or their health or etc. So yeah, it's a really, really tough subject because we really, really trust these organizations to lead our young people into success and education and being able to give back to their communities. And I'm saying this again because with these being peers, I know someone that's a member of every organization that's part of the Divine Nine. I love them dearly and have a high, deep respect for them. And some of these people are the most genuine people that you'll ever meet. However, when you're looking at some of the things that are happening to some of these members, then you have to kind of analyze at some point, what's worth it, especially when it comes to your dignity and who you are as a human being. Now, we can speak all day and give all types of gibberish, but at the end of it all, it's not right to have to lose one of our members who are aspiring to be a better person than who they were, and they trusted you, or they're putting their confidence beyond God in you, to see them or in a better direction. So I just wanted to touch on those subjects. Maybe I went over a little bit longer than, what I anticipated on speaking on these matters. But I just wanted to address the fact that there are a lot of things that are going on negatively in our community that we can really clean up. And with some of these behaviors, it's time to address them, because there's no point in sweeping it under the rug and keep fighting each other and keep taking each other out, because that's the only thing that's been happening since I've been studying it, as long as I've been living. So let's continue to deep dive into these things and meditate on them and how we can do better. And I'll check in with you later. And thanks for listening. If you gave me the time, and I don't need you to like or share it for real, because I understand when it comes to social media and algorithms, people really use these things to hinder you. And some of these people, like I said, when it comes to some of these matters, they look like you and they're doing wrong by you. So I understand if you don't like or if you don't comment on it because of who you're affiliated with, and what you understand when it comes to matters of these social media algorithms. Again, I stepped outside the room a long time ago when I recognized I was the source that I'm standing in there, and I've been comfortable with it. So, hey, I'll check in with you later. I may have something, but this was something, these were collective thoughts that had been brewing, and I just wanted to get it off my chest. But thank you for your time, all right? Take care.